Welcome to our Spring into Success Purpose Planning Party. I am so excited that you are joining me on tonight to plan your work, to work your plan. It is time for you to live life from the inside out. Are you ready for that? Well, then I want you to come on and join me on the road of success. Success is who you are, and it is what it's time for you to tap further into by you extracting the gift, the talents, and the ability, the dreams, the goals, the plans that are inside of you, and put pen to paper and pen to purpose and write your vision so that you can actually live your vision. So we're going to do that on tonight. We're going to see how do we stay the course on the road of success so that we can live and leave a lasting legacy. And I want to encourage all of those who have in 2021 might have made what is considered to be New Year's resolutions and it didn't quite resolve the way that you wanted to. Well, I'm here to let you know that you don't need a New Year's resolution. You need a new mindset and outlook and perspective on life to know that you were put here with a plan, you were put here with a purpose, and you were put here to make a difference. And now we're going to look at how do we put those into perspective by writing it out, breaking it down, visualizing to actualize what it is we're supposed to do. How can we do it where it doesn't overwhelm us, that we don't give out because of it, but and we don't feel consumed from it, but that we're actually able to write it out and hold ourselves accountable. So we're going to look at how do we do this as we are officially in the second quarter of this new year. Again, it doesn't matter what you didn't experience before. It is now time for you to actualize and materialize your legacy by springing into the success that lives within, and it is time for you to live on purpose. So one of the greatest ways that you live on purpose is number one, understanding and becoming aware of what your purpose is, what you are been put here to do, and how do you actually complete the assignment. See, many people get glimpses of hopes of their dreams and who they are within, but they don't know where to start, let alone where to finish. So we're going to look at how to simplify putting things in order in our life, prioritizing things in our life, preparing and actually planning for things in our life, opposed to just letting life happen to us, letting life live us. It is time for us to now understand the power of seeing purpose and being purpose. The time for us to actualize and materialize our legacy. That again is our gift, talents, and abilities. And it doesn't matter what stage you are at in life. If you have the ability to change, then change is here for you. So we're going to get started with that change. And I want you to begin to clear your mind and focus so now you can start seeing how you can put into motion priority, reprioritizing the things that truly matter, opposed to being consumed with things that you cannot change nor you cannot control, like your history. Yesterday is gone, and all we have is the present. So let's maximize, let's utilize so that we can actualize and materialize our legacy by living life on purpose. So let's get right into it and let's begin to start with this first exercise. Are you ready? Well, let's spring into success. So we're going to look at this first exercise, and it's called the Wheel of Life. I want you to look at this from number 1 to 6. I want you to get your pen and paper. I want you to get a device, a journal. You have to get used to having something that you're consistently writing out your plans, your goals, your dreams. I want you to begin to, on that device, on that pen and pad, on that journal, I want you to put inside of a numerical order what comes first inside of your life. And then I want you to number it 1 through 6. 1 is financial and career. 2 is mental and educational. 3 is physical and health. 4 is social and cultural. 5 is spiritual and ethical. And then 6 is family and home. So I want you to put on there, on your paper, 1 through 6, and you can write it out. What things are most important to you in numerical order? So it doesn't mean that your paper has to look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because number 6 could actually be your number 1. And I want you to actually put it in order by that. So in essence, it's going to look like this. If number 5, spiritual and ethical, is your most important priority in life, then under number 1, you're going to put 5. And next to that, you're going to put spiritual and ethical. If number 2 is financial and career, then for number 2, you're going to put 1, financial and career. If the third one is your physical and your health, your well-being, being physically fit, being operating at your optimal and peak health, then you're going to write that down under there, and then go follow suit to that. Now, why is this exercise so important? This is important because it allows you to see where you are, where and when, right here and right now. Because when you look back at this at the end of this quarter, or if you look back at this at the end of this year, your priority list may change as you continue to plan your purpose. But it's so important for you to understand where you are, even if you're in the middle of the race. It's called mid-course correction. You have to be able to prioritize what are the most important things to you. And when you have an understanding of what's most important to you, then you can begin to structure your life around those things, and then begin to put, okay, if number 1 is spiritual and ethical, well, what am I doing to build up my spirituality? What disciplines, what daily regiments do I have in practice to build up myself spiritually? If it's ethically, what am I doing in my business or in my relationships or my job? What am I doing to build up myself ethically? Because if all you're doing is writing out numbers and saying, hey, this is my priority, but you're doing nothing to put engagement or practice or regiment to these, you will never see yourself living a fulfilled life. And so this is why you have to understand the will of life is meant for you to see and to prioritize what truly matters, and then put in order what you're going to do to make those things matter. What work are you willing to put in? What planning are you going to put in? Let's just say it's financial and career. Well, how many financial stability classes will you take for you to be financially stable? How many career classes will you take for you to learn a new trade? So that's what I mean by, after you put the numbers, then you got to make up in your mind, what am I willing to do? Now, you don't have to write all of that out tonight, but the key essence is for you to get your mind turning and going, turning and burning with passion to fulfill your life's purpose. So after you write these numbers out, then your homework and your heart work and your life work is going to be, okay, now what am I willing to do in each of these categories to make these things more evident or prevalent in my life, to make these things even more effective in my life, for me to get more results out of these things in my life. This is how you have to see yourself. Why? Because what's in the center of this wheel of life? You, you, no one else. No one else can live your life for you. And when you understand that only you can live your life, and then you only have one life to live, then you will make up in your mind to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Can you just say that to yourself? Say, the rest of my life is going to be the best of my life. So again, you are categorizing these will of life headers by what's most important to you. Again, it doesn't have to be in numerical order according to what you see on the screen with the numbers, but it needs to be in order according to what's most important to you. Make sure all of these fit on there. All 6. Rather, if there's something inside of one that may not apply to you, still put it on there, because you need to be able to see a snapshot of what's important to you, and then be able to go back and fill in again, how are you going to make these things more effective in your life so that you can adequately fulfill your life's purpose, so that you can plan your work and then you can work your plan. I'm gonna leave it up for one more minute so that again you're able to numerically write these down, and then just simply write out the names under each. And then your homework is going to be for you to then go back and fill in what are you willing to do in each and every order to make these things a priority inside of your life, from 1 to 6. Even let's say if financial career is number 6 on your priority list, it doesn't mean do not put any regiments in it or put any practice inside of it. Still put a plan of action next to each one as your homework. Not right now. Why is that so important? Because if you don't intentionally plan to live, you will plan to fail. And I know for me, failure is not an option because I believe everything in life is feedback. Feedback will show you what you need to do more of. It shows you what areas you're lacking inside of, what areas you need to improve inside of, what areas you are operating at your optimum inside of. Life is full of lessons and feedback. And when you understand that, then you'll be willing to do whatever it takes to improve your life so that every day your life is getting better. So, do we all have this? As we have prioritized these numbers on the wheel of life in order, again, you're going to go back for homework, and homework doesn't mean you got to do it overnight. I don't even want you to rush it, but I don't want you to procrastinate either. But when I say don't rush it, meaning don't just put answers down, don't just fill in this, but you're actually not going to put those regiments into practice. Put into their actual regiments that you are going to put into practice, and then you're going to hold yourself accountable. I want you to put your hand on your chest, and I want you to say, I am going to hold myself accountable. Why is that so important? Because if you don't hold yourself accountable and it is your life and you only have one life to live, how else will you fulfill your life's purpose? How else will you fulfill your life goals? How else will you live out to leave a lasting legacy? It starts with you making a bold declaration to you that you're going to invest in you so that you can live from the inside out. Are we all clear on that? Okay, we're going to move right along. Now we're going to get into this next exercise. This is going to be so important, and I'm going to need you to focus, focus, focus. Can somebody shout focus? Matter of fact, put it inside of the chat. Say focus. Why is focus so important? Because so many times people are so filled with what's happening around them. That's the very thing that is keeping them from living a fulfilled life. They can't fulfill their life's purpose because they're too busy filled with what's going on around them because they're all focused on what's really going on with inside of them. And this is why most people don't live a fulfilled life because they never take time to see what's happening within and to then begin to plan that out, begin to work that out, begin to work their plan so that they can, or plan their work so that they can work their plan. But I want somebody to say, not me. That won't be me. Why is that so important? Because when you make up your mind that you're going to do something different to get something different, that's when you will begin to see different made manifest and evident in your life. It comes and starts with a decision. So right now, I want you to clear all distractions from around you. And I want you to focus, focus, focus. I want you to just take about 5 seconds and close your eyes and take a deep breath in for like 5 seconds. You're going to hold that deep breath and then you're going to release it. And then I want you to repeat that one more time. You're going to take a deep breath, you're going to release it, and then you're going to focus. Now, why is this so important before we start this exercise? Because this exercise is going to be based upon how you see your life. But you won't adequately be able to see your life if right now you're consumed with, a project on your job you got to fulfill, a task you got to do inside of your household, errands you have to run, bills you have to pay. If all of those things are swirling inside of your mind right now, you won't adequately be able to pre-plan or prepare what your ultimate purpose day will look like. And if you don't adequately learn how to use the power of your imagination, you will not be able to achieve what you first do not believe or conceive. And in order to conceive, believe, and conceive, you have to focus. You have to have a clear mind. You have to be focused on the very task, the very goal, the very assignment, and not back down and not let anything or anyone interfere with the very thing or the very goal or the very destination that you know you are en route into. And say, now, if now all of our minds are clear, I want you to write in the chat, clear. Write clear if your mind is clear. And if your mind is clear, then we're going to get started and we're going to go forth and we're going to start creating our day. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And as I ask you this, I want you to take a moment to think about it in your mind. And then I want you to begin to put it down on paper. I want you to first think about it in your mind. And then I want you to be able to put it down on paper. So you're going to apply this to work on your vision for your ideal purpose day. You're going to create your purpose day first upon what would your life look like if you didn't have to worry about bills, if you didn't have to worry about other people's problems, if you didn't have to worry about the consumption of tasks on your job, if you had a clear mind and a clear schedule to be able to create your day with you being in control over it, not you having to juggle other things and other tasks, but if you actually got to plan out your full 24 hours a day, what would that look like? Remember, this is your creation. I don't want you to integrate anything that you're currently doing that has been given unto you in the format of a job or in the format of a task. I want you to have a clear mind, a clean slate, a blank canvas, so that you can adequately create your day. So first, imagine if you would be living the perfect day over and over and over for the rest of your life. So the day that you're about to create, some people will call this fantasy, but if you were given the opportunity to create your day, that this day, this 24 hours would repeat for the rest of your life because you put it into play, you pre-purposed it, what would those 24 hours look like? Now remember, these 24 hours you're going to have to replay for the rest of your life. But guess what? You get to control what that day looks like. So if your day had to replay for the rest of your life, what would that day look like? So with that being said, how would you imagine that future of a purpose day if anything was possible and you had all the skills, all the resources to fulfill it? You're lacking nothing. You don't need anything else. You don't have to worry about any bills. You don't have to worry about clocking in and clocking out. Every single thing is according to how you pre-purpose it, how you pre-plan it, and how you prepare it. So now I want you to write out your exact daily routine. This is only by imagination of what the perfect purpose day would look like. And what's important from this is that this purpose day has to be so good that you can truly imagine it, imagine living it. How? Until the end of your days. In essence, the rest of your life. So I want you to start thinking about it in general, but now we're going to break it down from morning, midday, and evening. You ready? Somebody shout clear, right? Clear inside of the chat. Because remember, you get to create your day now. So no longer can there be moaning, groaning, complaining. I don't have enough time. How am I going to do this? What's going to happen? In essence, you have to be able to think this thing out and then put it into practice because now you are in control. So let's move on what our morning day would look like. So what would you do when you first wake up? I want you to say, what would you do? What would that regimen, what would that routine be? Is there somebody with you? If so, write out what's that person's name? Who's with you? Is it a spouse? Is it children? Is it loved ones? Is it a bestie? Even what are you having for breakfast? If you're having breakfast, if you're not having breakfast, because remember, this is your purpose day. You're purposing this day. You're creating this day. So if you want your day to not have to consist of breakfast, that's fine. But I want to know, write it down. What are you doing when you first wake up? Who's with you? Or are you alone? What are you having for breakfast or no breakfast? That's the first question before we go on to the next. That's the first thing. What does your morning routine look like in your creation of your purpose day? And you don't have to overthink this, because guess what? Many of you have been daydreaming what your life would look like if you could do it your way for years. You just never had the opportunity. You just consider it a wishful thinking, or just a pipe dream or fantasy land. But if your fantasy could become your actuality, what would that look like? And if you have that written down, now where are you? Now, this is going to be so important, because so many people say, if I could just be in this place, or if I can only be in this location, or if I can only be in this country or this state or in this land, it would just make everything better. So, where are you in this one day that you have to live out for the rest of your life? Are you in an apartment? Are you in a house, a hotel room, an island, a resort, a condo? Are you living literally just out of the land? This is your perfect day for your perfect life. And when I say perfect, I mean purpose. This is what your day would look like if you got to live life on purpose. You are literally putting to pen what your purposed life will look like for you and to you. So again, where is this at? Are you in an apartment? You in a house? You're in a hotel room? You're on an island? You're on a resort? You're living outside? Because for some people, that's the biggest dream, to actually be able to be one with the elements. Okay, now that we've gotten that situated, what's the weather like on this perfect day, this purpose day? Is it warm and sunny? Are you near the ocean? You're in a city? You're surrounded by mountains? Do you like the Alaskan type weather? Or do you like the island type weather? What's your perfect day look like? Is it a rainy day? Is it a cloudy day? Is it a sunny day? Is it a snowy day? What would your optimum day look like for you? Now we're going to move on to our midday. But again, remember, it's your purpose day. No limits, no boundaries. Take the cap off. Anything is possible. All right, next, we're going to talk about what comes next. Are you on vacation in this perfect purpose day? Or do you actually live there? Is this your new home? Are you walking to work? Are you heading out into nature? Do you own an office? Are you hanging out in a studio? Or are you working, or are you on a permanent vacation? I want you to put that in. Where are you? Wherever you chose, if you chose the island or resort, was that a permanent vacation that you had in mind for your purpose day? Or did you have your perfect dream home in a perfect geographical location? And I want you to write that down too. What would that perfect geographical location look like? Be specific. If it's in the United States, city and state. If it's in another country, what country? If it's in another continent, what continent? Where is this perfect purpose day taking place at? And if you chose to not be on permanent vacation, what does your work look like? What would you be working on? And would you be working in a team or alone? In this perfect day that you can have for the rest of your life, would it include others within it? Would you have a team, or like I like to say, teamwork to make the dream work? What type of work would you be doing? If you got to choose what you get to do for work, because it's actually not work, it's actually your purpose and your passion, what would that be? And then what are you actually working on, and who are you working with? Are you doing all the work alone? Are you working in a team? Next, how are you working? Are you working according to what you've known prior in life? A 9 to 5, a 8 to 4? Are you working half days, 12 hours on, 12 hours off? Are you working 1 hour on and 23 hours off a day? How are you working? What's your mood like? Are you happy all day? Are you calm all day? Are you peaceful all day? Are you anxious all day? What's your mood? And then what are you creating? Remember, this is create your day. What is the creation that you are actually creating? And then who are you doing it for? Is this for self to actually just fulfill out the ability to actually accomplish something and complete something? Is it for your children and your children's children? If your parents are still alive, is it for your parents to give them the life that they never had? If you are very outreach oriented or a humanitarian, is it for the community? Is it for the land, the earth? What are you creating and who are you doing it for? And guess what? If your answer is has multiple answers, then put them in there. You can say, I'm doing it for self, parents, and children, and the community. Remember, this is your perfect purposed day. And then if you included anybody else outside of yourself, then what do these people get from whatever it is you're creating? What do you get out of it? What do they get out of it? What's the results? What's the resolve? What's the solution? Whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that you're creating, what problem is it going to solve? What impact is it going to make? What change is it going to erect? That's very important and imperative for you to know. Because again, if you can think it, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. So this exercise is letting you know the power that you possess in being able to dream, being able to think, being able to imagine. Get your imagination fire back burning and keep it churning. Don't let it sizzle out. Don't make New Year's resolutions and then it's back to smoke by January the 21st because the challenges of life was too difficult and you was too consumed with your day-to-day affairs. Because now you have the ability to create your day for your perfect purposed life. So I'm going to go over this again. Where do you live? What are you working on? What are you doing in your midday? If you're doing it, are you doing it alone? You're doing it with people. And then what is actually are you doing? What are you working on? Then what's your actual mood? And then who are you doing it for? And then what do they get from it? And I know that is so loaded. That is a lot to unpack. But guess what? If you're going to live life on purpose, you have to plan your work and work your plan. Does that mean everything in life always goes as you have pre-purpose or pre-planned? No. But you have to have a clear-cut outlook on where you are going and what it's going to take to get there so that you can handle anything that comes your way. Why? Because you are focused forward. You are focused on your mission. You are focused on your vision. You are focused on your purpose, and you are focused on living and leaving a lasting legacy. So now that we've kind of put in our midday into perspective, let's move on and say, how does your purpose day end? Now, does it end with you worked for 12 hours and now you get to unwind? maybe with some movies, activity, family time, or now you get to actually unwind with self-care time? Are you eating dinner? And if so, are you eating it in a restaurant? Are you cooking it yourself? What does your kitchen look like? What kind of food are you making? How does your purpose day look? How does the end of your 24 hours conclude? And I don't want you to play it safe as you're doing this. I want you to be as specific, but also as wild of a dreamer as possible. Remember, how many opportunities in a lifetime do you get to actually say, I'm going to plan out my day and I don't have to do it according to what my job is saying, what others are saying, what others want from me. It is me planning out and mapping out my day to map out my life. What does this look like? So again, we're at the end of the day. What does the end of our day look like? The end of our purpose day. We have purposefully planned this day out and have filled it with what we want our life to look like for the rest of our lives. Now let's move on. Now that we've done that, and I know I've changed screens, but for a moment, I just want you to close your eyes and I want you to begin to visualize and actualize that every single thing that you just imagined and that you have written down has already materialized in your life. I want you to see yourself as if every single thing that you just thought and that you just wrote are actually in place right now. Like the switch has just clicked on and your new life takes effect right now. I want you to take a moment with your eyes closed and envision yourself actually walking through and walking out that purpose day. And I want you to see it just as you planned it. I want you to start from the morning, then move on to the midday, and then to the evening. And don't rush it. I want you to think about it. I want you to visualize it. I want you to see it so strong within your mind that it is like you are having a VR experience. It is like you have been snatched out of your standard everyday life, and you have now been put on the scene where your day has been created according to how you have purposed it. I want you to actually have feelings with this. I don't want you to just think it. I want you to embody it. I want you to put it on. I want you to see yourself. If you got to move your arms like you walk and pick your legs up. Now, don't go far because I don't want you bumping into things. But it's the motion of it. It's the emotion of it. It's the feeling it as if it's already done. Still keep your eyes closed. Why is this exercise so imperative? Because again, you must believe it. You must conceive it so that you can actually achieve it. Because if you can think it, if you can dream it, you can be it. So now I want you to open up your eyes. And as you open up your eyes, I want you to just sum up what that one full day looked like in feelings. I want you to put in the chat. If you could think of one word to sum up what that feeling was, whether it's peace, whether it's joy, whether it's fulfillment, whether it's purpose, whether it's worth. I feel like I actually matter, which that word would be matter. What does your life look like summed up in one word from that one day? And why is that so important? Because that's the very visualization, that's the very feeling That's the very word that I want you to hold on to for the rest of your life. So that as you are planning your work to work your plan, that is like your vision board. That is before you. So that when life tries to throw you interferences or curveballs, that you are able to focus forward on your purpose day. Now, many of you may say, oh, that was good for exercise, but there's nothing realistic about it because you don't know what I wrote on my paper. I wrote some outlandish things that could never happen in the real world. Well, guess what? Your real world is the world that you create from the inside out. You are your real world. Your real world is not what's happening around you. Your real world is what is happening within you. And when you understand the power of your world, the power of your mind, the power of your purpose, the power of you coming into awareness and understanding that you are in greatness, you are success, you are a living legend, then that day will be made into actuality. All things are possible to them that believe. Are you a believer? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you can achieve anything that you have just purposed from your perfect day that you would have to live for the rest of your life? And the whole essence of that activity was simply to let you know that whatever it is that you're looking to get out of life, you are only get who you are and what you do on a consistent basis. You never get the life that you want. You only get the life that you plan and prepare for. You only get the life that you think that you can achieve. If you doubt, you will do without. But if you believe and you conceive, that means you let it take root. This is why we closed our eyes for a moment and we became one with that day. Because that's the day that's going to be the rest of your life. And as far-fetched as it may seem, the true reality is that your life is only going to be the sum total of what you have already been doing on a daily basis. That's why you don't get out what you want. You only get out what you put in. It's like going to an ATM machine and you have an account and you expecting to get $1,000,000 out, but you never put $1,000,000 in, or no one else ever made a deposit of $1,000,000. How would it get there? How would that accumulate in your account? That's how you have to view your mind. Your mind is full of multi-million, billion, and trillion-dollar ideas and dreams and plans and goals that are awaiting to be purposed, that are waiting to be planned, that are awaiting to become one with feeling, to be awaiting to become one with thoughts. They're waiting for you to come into agreement with them, opposed to saying, I don't think I can do that. That'll never happen. Or I'll get to that next year. Or I'll get that when I get these resources. Or I'll get that when I let go of this job. The actuality is you will only get what you plan, you prepare, and you dream, and you believe, and you conceive that you can achieve. And if you are clear on that, I want you to use that as your vision board. Your vision board is simply something that you keep before your face as a goal to reach. A vision board shouldn't be for 20 years later, 30 years later, 10 years later. A vision board should be, this is what I'm going to achieve, and here is my point of reference to assist me and to keep me accountable in reaching it. So now that we have pre-planned and pre-purposed what our perfect purpose day will look like from sunrise to sunset, I want you to see the significance of that, because what you do every single day from sunrise to sunset will determine what you'll experience from your literal life's sunrise to your life sunset. If you ever notice, in the middle of each person's life who has already transitioned from this thing called earth, you have the year they were born, you have a dash in the middle, and the year that they passed or transitioned. And that little dot in the middle will determine the life that you're able to manifest between your sunrise and your sunset. That dwells in your mind and your ability to put it into action and motion by planning it and preparing for it. And when I mean by planning and preparing for it, that number one means acknowledging it, becoming aware and enlightened and awakened to it. To know that your dream is not dead. Your dream is not like an imaginary friend. Your dream is alive and it's waiting for you to tap into it, to become one with it, so it can actualize and materialize and be made manifest in your life, so that you can serve your life's purpose and you can go out and live life from the inside out and be a solution to someone else's problem, so that you live a life of service. And that service will equal a life of fulfillment. And then that life will then yield you back a life of being abundantly supplied. Why? Because you're already abundantly supplied with a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of gifts, a wealth of things inside of your mind, your skill sets. That is a solution to someone else's problem, that they are waiting for you to show up in your power. They are waiting for you to show up in your purpose. They are waiting for you to show up, to live out your legacy. So now that we have that before our face, our perfect day that we're going to live for the rest of our lives, I want you to envision yourself doing just that. What would it take for you to do that? What life work, hard work, and homework would it take for you to do on a daily basis to maximize your dot between your sunrise and your sunset? Because no matter what you're doing on a continual basis will truly be what your life looks like for the rest of your life. So why not maximize it? Why not make it more effective? Why not make it more productive? But you have that ability to do so. And we're going to see how to break that down. So what we have in front of us, this is called SMART, SMART. Say, I am smart. Yes, you are smart. And the breakdown and the acronyms of SMART is being specific, having something that's measurable, attainable, relevant, and time oriented. I want to start with T, and then we're going to go back up to S. T, time, is one of the most greatest assets or liabilities that you never get back. You can't buy time. You can't turn back the time, but you can maximize and utilize the time that you have right here and right now. So it doesn't matter how much time has elapsed or eluded you. Don't get caught up in time as a liability. Your past is just that. It's your past. Your future has not come yet. So only time you have is your present. And this is why you must treat the present like a gift, because it's all you got. So no longer do you have to press rewind and replay and rewind and replay and rewind and replay on your history. Because what you do with your time right here, right now, can rewrite your history so that you can have a great destiny. And when I say rewrite it, I'm saying rewrite it according to what your life has looked like prior to you becoming awakened and aware and enlightened of your true value, your worth, your dreams, your goals, your plans, your heart's desires. And once you come into that place, now you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it to the finish line, to get it to the state of completion, to get to that place of fulfillment. So SMART, SMART. Now you're going to get a digital download of this that you can actually in your own time print this out and fill it out. I don't want you to feel pressure on tonight because everything may not be on the forefront of your mind. I want you to actually take your time and write this out, because this is how you're going to be able to track your day, write out your day, and then hold yourself accountable to your day. So number one, you're going to be specific. I want you to say, I am going to be specific. What does that look like? What exactly do you want to do? Be specific. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your day? What do you want to do with this quarter? What do you want to do with the rest of this year? You have to be specific. This is why we did the exercise, so that you can already have an overview of what you want your day to look like. And I don't mean want like it's a hope or a wish, but I'm talking about what your day would look like if you actually was able to plan it out without interferences, because you have the ability to do that. Because interferences can be happening all around you, and you don't have to let those interferences within you, because you are focused and you are specific on exactly what you want to do. Now, some of you may say, well, I actually don't know what I want to do. Well, this is why you're going to take time to think. Why? Because what you want to do and what you were created to do is already within you. You just got to eliminate and alleviate all the clutter, all the chatter of the I can'ts, or how can I, or can I, to yes, how can I, to yes, I can, to yes, I will. I know who I am. I know what I want to do. Even if you don't, when you start speaking it, eventually you will believe what you speak. This is why most people don't live a fulfilled life, because they begin to believe what they've been thinking on how they can't do something. And that's what their life has yielded them. But I want you to say to yourself, not me. That's not me. I'm going to be specific. I'm going to write out exactly what I want to do. So if you want to do a rough draft while I'm going through this, that's fine. But you're going to get a digital download so that you can actually be able to go through this and actually write it out. What do you want to do? Because this becomes your map, your blueprint for your success. This becomes the very thing that will start to extract the very things that have been hidden and awaiting on the inside to be released, to actually be put into motion. The next one, M. If you look at that word measurable, what's those first two letters? Me. You got to know what's in me. It's time for you to know what you're made of. Why? Because you're made of some good stuff. You are made of value. You are made of worth. You are made of life. You are made of purpose. You are made of legacy. Now it's time to have something that's measurable. So how will you track your progress? I will suggest that you track your progress every single day. The problem with most people's goals is they make their goals annual goals or quarterly goals without chunking it down to hourly goals and even daily goals. It's okay for you to even have minute goals. Give yourself time frames. Okay, when I get up, I'm giving myself 1 hour to fulfill this self-care, or 1 hour to be in prayer or meditation, or 1 hour to work out. How do you track your process and your progress? By writing it out so that you can look back and be able to check it off. Hey, I did this. Hey, I didn't do this. So now let me put this here, or tomorrow let me double up on that. But don't do a lot of doubling up, but also don't beat yourself up if you missed out on something. The reason why you don't want to double up on something, because that's how you get into emotional debt. That's how you get into mental debt. That's how you get into purpose debt. You can't catch up because you keep putting things off. I want you to say, I will not operate in procrastination, but I will live in acceleration. Acceleration doesn't mean sloppy. Acceleration doesn't mean you're not thinking. Acceleration doesn't even mean you're not taking your time. Acceleration means that you're being intentional and strategic with getting to your destination, because you know you have somewhere to be and something to do. That is live life on purpose, and to live in and to leave a lasting legacy. So how do you track that? By watching what you're doing on a daily basis. Watching what you're doing on a project basis, watching what you're doing on the hourly basis. If you say, hey, I'm gonna give myself an hour to rest, When put on a timer. We're full of digital devices. You can do it on your phone, on your watches. If you have Alexa, whatever it is, track yourself. Keep yourself accountable. Measure what you're doing. Don't just say, I'll finish it when I finish it. No, be intentional about being measurable. And A, somebody shout A. A is attainable. Is this realistic for me? Do I have what I need to make it possible? This isn't questioning yourself or talking yourself out of it. This is reassuring yourself, yes, this is realistic for me. Why? Because this is my purpose. This is my life's assignment. This is God's plan for me to be used in this thing called earth to make a difference and to make an impact and to be a solution to someone else's problem. I do have what I need. Because all things are possible to them that believe. And I believe in me. I believe that I can do it. I believe that I'm going to complete the assignment. I believe that I'm going to fulfill my life's purpose. So no matter how realistic it looks or not, is it possible? Absolutely yes. It's attainable. But it will only be attainable if you believe that it's attainable. Remember, you got to do these three things. You got to believe, you got to conceive, then you got to achieve. If all you're doing is hoping and wishing you can achieve, but you put nothing in the bracket of believing, if you put nothing in the bracket of conceiving is allowing it to become one with you. Actually, you embodying it. Actually, you holding it tight like you are saving its life. You're becoming one with it. You're not letting it go. You're not giving up on it. You're not giving into it. You're not giving out because of it. You can do it. It is attainable. It is possible. Did you know the word impossible simply means I am possible? See, many people look at that as a negative, but in actuality, when you say it's impossible is spelled I am possible. I'm possible. I am possible. All things are possible to who? To those who believe and achieve. That's why imagination is so important. Every day you should be imagining something. Imagining something with your eyes closed, with the full feeling of your dreams, your goals, the assignment, the task for the day. And then approach it with yourself being on fire, being excited, no matter how much work is going to entail, no matter how tedious the job may seem. It's your purpose. It's your legacy. It's your life's assignment. It's attainable for you. Are relevant. Why am I doing this? And does it matter to me? It doesn't matter how many motivational sessions, transformational conferences, inspirational talks or podcasts, how many sermons you hear. If you don't make your purpose and your legacy relevant to you, if you don't become one with that thing, someone can pump you up. They can tell you you can do it. But if you don't believe it, you won't receive it. If you doubt, you will do without. You got to be clear on why you are doing it. And a part of that clarity is because it's your life's purpose. It's your calling. It's the very reason that you were born and put on this earth. No one was put on this earth just to pass time. You were put on this earth to maximize time. And we're going to talk about that in a T. You were put on this earth to utilize your time by fulfilling your purpose and living out your legacy. So why are you doing this? Remember, we talked about this in our Perfect Purpose Day. Are you doing this for self? Are you doing it for family, community, the earth? Why are you doing this? Why is that so important? Because that's your why. Every single thing that you do in life has to have a why. Your why is what will keep you going, even if you have to be up in the midnight hour. Your why will keep you going when everybody else is a naysayer. Your why will keep you going when everybody else says, I'm going home. Your why will keep you going when you are tired, when you feel like, is it worth it? Your why will show you, yes, it's worth it. Because you only have one life to live. And it is time for you to live it to the fulfillment and the fullness of it. What does that simply mean? See, most people are living a filled life. They're filled with consumption, but you should want to live a fulfilled life. And that's a part of why you're doing this, to live a fulfilled life. How do you live fulfilled? By living in and out and from your purpose. Does it matter to me? It has to matter to you. Because if it doesn't matter to you, that's what you will attract back to you. It not mattering to anybody else. But if you take it serious and it matters to you, you will eventually attract those who it matters to them too. That you will matter to them. Your purpose will matter to them. Your assignment, your destiny, your solution to their need will matter because it matters to you. Remember, you never get in life what you want, you get who you are. And so who you are has to be one full of purpose, one full of power, one full of productivity, because that's what you will attract back to you. So you have to become relevant to yourself. You have to become important to yourself. You have to believe that you can do it. Many times people use even spirituality. Oh, well, I believe in God, but God's going to do it. God can only do it in and through you. He doesn't do it for you. He's not doing it to you. He's going to do it through you. You were put on this earth as a vessel to be used to release your purpose and your legacy, which is your gifts, your talents, and your ability, which was meant to be a gift to this thing called earth. You are a gift of God. You are a gift from God. Have you ever heard of the saying that that person thinks that they are God's gift? Well, we are all God's gift. We were gifted to this earth to make it a better place, to make an impact and make a difference, to operate in community so that your purpose can help me with my purpose, because you have a solution that will meet my need. I have a solution that will meet your need. So everybody is fulfilled because everybody's using themselves as a gift that keeps being unwrapped and keeps being released and keeps being served. You ever heard of the saying, this is a gift that keeps on giving? Usually they talk about that with T that we're about to get into, time oriented. You are supposed to be the gift that keeps on giving. As long as you're here in between your sunrise and your sunset, you are a gift that keeps on giving. Do you know that you're a gift? And have you been given? And I don't mean giving away, I mean giving out. Giving away means I don't understand the value of this. I don't understand the significance of this. I don't understand the worth of this. Giving it out means this is a part of my life's purpose. I value it. So I give it out according to how I see the value of it is. I don't just give it out freely and here, there, everywhere. I am intentional and I am strategic. Why? Because I am relevant to myself. I have an understanding, or at least I'm willing to come into the place of understanding what is my why, and does it matter to me? Do I matter to me? Because the point is, you should. Because you do. You do matter. Now it's time for you to matter to you. And then T of this SMART, smart. Time oriented. When will I have this completed? That is like the golden question of majority of people's lives. All of this sounds good, but when? When will I have time to complete this task? When will I have time to fulfill this purpose? When will I have time to put into my gifts, my talents, my abilities? When will I have time to go back and get more education? When will I have time to meet the needs of others by serving in and through my gift? When? It seems impossible. But in actuality, it is impossible in the sense of I am possible, because all things are possible to who? To them that believe. Believe, conceive that you can achieve. When will you have this completed? When you make up in your mind that you're going to live from the finish line. So the finish line will always be your focus, because you were created in completion so that you can continue the process of completion. Remember, our whole exercise prior to this was create the day. Why? Because you are God's creation that was created to create. Can you say that? I was created to create. So if you are not currently, and if you have not previously been created, then you're not operating in your authentic, original format or state of being. And that is creation. You are creation. That is supposed to duplicate the process of creation. And that's not creation just in humanity. That's creation in purpose. That's creation in your God-given gift, talents, and abilities. Those things that are inside of you that come natural, that you may have to build upon, but it's in you, that you have a passion for it. Every time you do it, you actually have an excitement and you actually feel fulfilled when it's completed. You were meant to live a completed life. You were not meant to be incomplete. You were not meant to be unfulfilled. So time now has to come from the bracket of being an asset to being a liability to being your greatest asset. No longer say time is not on my side. Some people say that because of their age. Well, I wasted too much time. Too much time has passed me by. It's never too late to be great. It's never too late to fulfill your life's purpose. Do you know how many creators start creating when they was in their 60s and 70s and have left lasting legacies that you and I are enjoying to this day? I.e. things like Chick-fil-A, Kathy Truitt, who started well within the time frame that most people would be retiring inside of. But he said, now that I got the revelation of my life's purpose, I'm not going to retire. I'm going to refire. And I'm going to live my perfect purpose day for the rest of my life. And that's what he did. And many of us are enjoying the fruits of his labor years after his transition. Time became his asset. He didn't use it as a liability. He didn't use it as an excuse. He didn't say, well, if I started this 30, 40 years ago when I was in my prime, when I was in my 20s and 30s, when my hair was brown and not gray, when my skin was soft and subtle and not wrinkled, he didn't say those things because he was specific. He made it measurable. It became attainable. He made himself relevant, and he used time orientation. That's asset, not liability. So don't look at your history. Don't look at what time has passed. Look at time in the right here and right now so that you can adequately plan your purpose. Why? Because you are smart. And now it's time to be smart in your actions by planning your work so that you can adequately work your plan. Was that good for you? Did you get something out of that? I know it may have been a lot in a little bit of time, but guess what? It is necessary for you to take the necessary time to do something different so that you can get something different. Remember, insanity is doing the same thing over and 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 expecting the same results. It is time for you to get different results, because you are choosing to do something different. And that is being intentional with who you are, with the value it is that you possess, your worth, your gift, your talents, your abilities, your life's purpose, your life assignment. I know that may sound like it's coming at you so fast, but guess what? Hasn't life come at you the same way? So why not allow purpose to come at you so that you can start unpacking purpose from the inside out so that you can start living an effective life? You can start living a fulfilled life because that's what you were put here to do. You weren't put here to pass time. You were put here to fulfill time. And you're going to do that by understanding the power of planning. So with that being said, we're going to go into how can you adequately goal set yourself in several areas in your life and keeping your life on track. And for the mere fact that you show up for yourself, I said there would be free giveaways, and this is going to be for everyone who show up. This giveaway is you're going to get a set of a annual goal setting worksheets that literally starts from quarter one down to quarter four, but it allows you to break it down so that you can hold yourself accountable daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly, so that you can go back as a point of reference and say, what is it that I have done? What have I completed? Remember, you got to be time oriented. You got to be smart. What are my personal goals? What are my spiritual goals? What are my health goals? What are my family goals? And if you don't see the set of goals that you're looking for, one of these goals are not relevant to you, you can switch it out, change the header. But the key thing is your goals are the very things that you were meant to accomplish in your life. And the way that we're doing this is we're going to break it down quarterly so that you can set out what is this second quarter. We're officially in the second quarter, which is April, May, and June. Well, this is spring. What is spring going to look like? What are you actually going to spring into doing? What are you going to spring into fulfilling? What are you going to spring into completing? That ball lies inside of your court. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to do the life work? Are you willing to do the heart work? Are you willing to do the homework? And the homework is going to be when you get this free download that you can actually print out and actually measure what you're doing, what you have completed, what you didn't complete, what you need to go back to complete. And then at the end of the year, you get to go back and look and see, wow, look at all I actually completed for this year. And to see how you exceed your goals. And even though we're in quarter two, I want you, when you get this digital download, I want you to go back to quarter one. And I want you to write out every single thing that you were able to achieve or accomplish in January, February, and March. Even if you didn't set out at the beginning of the year to be disciplined or to write out your goals, if you didn't have any goals for the new year in January, February, March, and this is the first time that you're hearing about planning your purpose, planning out your goals, or goal setting, or mind mapping, or any of those type of terminologies, still go back and write out anything that you have accomplished inside of your life. Even if you didn't set out to accomplish it, write out what things have changed in your life, what things you have accomplished in your life. And these things can be even internally. You can say, oh, I had a mindset shift. I went from I can't to I can and I will. I went from can I to how can I? See, that's a personal goal. Spiritual goal could be something like, hey, when I wake up, I'm not going to see what's happening on social media. I'm not turning on the breaking news to see, what demise or doom and gloom is out there. I'm going to have a spiritual practice where I'm able to calm my mind, be at peace, meditate, pray, do journaling, whatever that looks like for you. Write it out. Keep yourself accountable. How does your life look right now? How's it look in your personal life as far as your goals? Would you say it's poor, average, good, great, amazing? You don't have to answer that right now because you're going to take this and download it, and you're going to print it out, and you're going to hold yourself accountable and be transparent with yourself. so that you can see where you are, so that you can know what it's going to take to get to where you need to be. And every quarter should be getting better and better, because now you're being intentional with your time, with your value, with your worth, with your purpose, with your plans, with your goals. And now you're able to go back and see what you were able to accomplish. You're able to go back and see what areas have you do you need improvement in? What areas did you surpass your goals? What areas did you surpass your level of growth? What areas did you even shock and surprise yourself and say, I cannot believe that I was able to do that? Even though I'm not a proponent of can't. Can't, it's like a curse word in our home, because you can and you will. If you believe that you can conceive, you will achieve. So you're going to get this digital download, and you're going to go back to quarter one, and you're going to look at everything you were able to accomplish. And then you're going to write out any goals that you might have had. And if you didn't fulfill those goals, but you had them and all they were was just thoughts inside of your head, write that down. To accompany this, I want you to get a set journal to actually every single day be able to write out your goals, write out your thoughts, write out your dreams, write out things that you want to accomplish, no matter how far-fetched they look like. Start writing things out. Start writing your vision out. You are your own visionary. If you can't see it, you can't be it. You can only be what you're able to see that you are already that. If you don't already see yourself in that position, it's not going to happen automatically. And this should free you up to now understand that even though my life has value, it has purpose, I still have to be disciplined. I still have to be diligent. I still have to stay the course. I still have to write out my vision, write out my goals, write out my dreams, categorize them. If you have certain dreams and goals that you want to see personally, write it out. This goal setting worksheet for the year is just a template. If you want to get more intricate, do it. The key thing is just make sure you are positioning yourself to plan your work so that you can work your plans. Stop letting life live you. Don't live in que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. Because in actuality, what will be is what you make it to be. And what you should have an understanding and an awareness and a greater determination and a greater fire burning inside of you as passion is, it's going to be my purpose. It's going to be my legacy. The rest of my life is going to be the best of my life. So as we get ready to close out this plan your purpose party, this purpose planning party, this plan your work to work your plan party, you got a lot of homework to do, but guess what? I want you to be excited about doing it. Why? Because it is who you are. You're planning out who you are, what you possess, and how you're going to present that to the world to make your life count, because your life matters. And now you have to walk in it. Walk like your life matters. Talk like your life matters. Think like your life matters. Carry yourself like your life matters. Like it matters to you personally, spiritually, in your health, in your family. And if you don't see something on here, again, you can change it out or add it. Don't live in limitations. Live a fulfilled life. No limits, no boundaries. Because all things are possible to them that believe. So as we get ready to close out, once you get these downloads, I want you to, again, go through this adequately. Then I want you to type out or put into flashcards or something that you can put before you. What does your perfect purpose day look like? I want you to use that as your vision board for this year. If you already have a vision board, that's fine. Add this to it. Because you want to have something that resembles who you are, authentic, in an authentic way. Who are you in your original format and being? Because most of you don't even know who that is in its fullness. But this is what's going to allow you to start unpacking that and becoming aware of that and taking ownership of that and seeing the value and the worth of that, and then putting into action all of that personally, spiritually, health wise, family wise, job wise, career wise, business wise, entrepreneurship wise, financial wise. All of those things matter. So I want you to begin to write these out. What are the goals in these areas? How do you feel about these areas right now? Be real with yourself. Because on the other side of this, at the end of quarter two, if it's poor, you should at least come out good. If it's average, you should at least come out great. If it's good, you should come out amazing. Why? Because every day your life should be getting better. Because you are here to fulfill your purpose. And now it's time for you to plan for it. Now it's time for you to prepare for it. Now it's time for you to believe it. Now it's time for you to conceive it. Now it's time for you to receive it so that you can achieve it. Does that sound good to you? I want you to take a moment and just applaud yourself. Come on, give yourself a round of applause. Why? Because again, you showed up for you. You showed up to say, guess what? I'm willing to roll up my sleeves and do the nitty gritty work, the foundational work inside of my life so that I can begin to extract the gift, talents, and abilities, the value and the worth that has been awaiting me to come into the awareness and understanding of what it is, what I possess, what I have that the world's been waiting for. And now I can actually start to plan it out and put it into action and actually see it actualize and materialize in my life. So I want to thank you all for tuning in on today. I want you to stay connected. Remember, you're in this world of for yourself, but not by yourself. It's your life that you have to live, but you don't have to live it alone. I want you to join the legacy community, legacyconnection.info, because we are intentional and we are strategic for living life in and through success by living life on purpose so that we can live in and leave a lasting legacy. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to live in your legacy? Are you finally to the place where you know that there is no other route? There is no other journey. There is no other road except the road of success. And that road of success is me living from the inside out through my gift, talents, and abilities, making a difference and an impact, being a solution to someone else's problem. And that's my service to the world. And in return, that's what I will get back. When I release my abundance, abundance will come back. When I release my gift, gifts will come back. When I release my talents, other talents will come back. When I release my service, others will release their service to me. This is how life was meant to be lived, in the format of community. Each one reach one. Each one operating in purpose so that we are all living a fulfilled life. Again, come on and give yourself another round of applause. Why is that so important? Because most of the time, the very thing and the very one that people leave on the back burner or at the end of the totem pole is self. It's self-purpose. It's self-care. It's self-legacy. Because they're so consumed. But no longer will you live the filled life, but you're going to live the what? The fulfilled life. Why? Because you are on fire. So once again, thank you for tuning in and joining us for our purpose planning party, where you are now going to intentionally plan your work so that you can work your plan, because you now are on greater fire to live out your life's legacy by living life on purpose. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for your digital downloads so that you can begin to do the hard work, the life work, and begin to live your life on purpose by you planning it and you making it happen and you holding yourself accountable. God bless you all. And again, thank you for coming. And what are you waiting for? Join our legacy community. Come on, let's leave this place on fire.